This is a little intro here for the first 10 questions of this convert into proper and improper fractions. Here we're going to convert fractions to an improper fraction here. And I want to say just a few words before we have a go at the first 10 questions about a little thought about equivalent fractions. Here's a half illustrated by a segment of a pie. But if you divide that pie into quarters, you can see that the half is also equivalent to two quarters, isn't it? And if you cut that pie again into 8 equal slices, which I have badly drawn here, but you can see that it's 1, 2, 3, 4 eighths. So I hope you can see the notion of equivalent fractions emerging here. So you could continue that process, couldn't you? And you'd end up with, the next one would be 8/16, wouldn't it? Yeah, and so on. And equivalent, you usually write an extra line to denote equivalent. These are all the same fraction, really, just different ways of writing the same fraction. So what that tells us then, that any fraction, basically, you can scale it up or down by a common factor. So if I times the top and bottom here by 2, for example, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. I can scale it up by 4, for example, 4 over 8. I could also scale that up by 3, of course. 3 at the top is 3. And 3 at the bottom is 6, so a half is equivalent to 3/6. So this section here just depends upon this principle. Once you know this simple principle of equivalent fractions, all these questions should be very straightforward. So for example then, I'll give you to illustrate it, let's just do one. If we wanted to write 7 2/3, say, in the form of an improper fraction, we could write that as 7 2/3, like so. And then we'd need to write the 7 in the first instance as a number. So you can write that as 7 over 1. That's what 7 is as a fraction, isn't it? And then you can scale that up to an equivalent fraction. Now we're going to scale it up to thirds. So basically in your mind's eye, it's times 3 times 3. That's how you would scale it up in your mind's eye. And that would give you then 7 3s are 21. Over the 3 times 1 is 3. So the 7 over 1 is equivalent to 21 over 3, plus 2 more thirds. And then you've got a simple addition of fractions there. 21 over thirds plus 2/3 is 23/3. So that would equal then 23 over 3. I know I've dragged it out here, but I just wanted to mention that principle of equivalent fractions, how we use them in simplifying these numbers like this and writing them as improper fractions like this. Okay guys, all the best. I'll catch you again in the next section. Cheers!